Hi, you're sewing with Cody, and in this video I'm going to go over the benefits of the Bernina multi-spool holder. So the Bernina multi-spool holder fits on any of the Bernina sewing or embroidery machines. Today I've got it on the Bernina 790. And as you can see, it attaches to the back of the machine, and some machines it does attach slightly different, but it always goes on the back side of it. And there's two little screw holes that you'd screw into the back of the machine and essentially just slide this piece on. And it's easy to take off if you're going for class, and then put it on when you get to class or your next sewing destination. So with the multi-spool holder, it has many benefits. Some of it's just for convenience sake, but some of it actually adds benefit to your sewing project and kind of takes out some of the hassle. So typically when we're embroidering, we may have limited space. So having spools of thread lined up and in front or around your machine can sometimes be in the way. So it's nice to have over a dozen different spool pins to put your embroidery threads on. Or even at home, I've got embroidery thread, I've got different weights of thread, different colors, I've even got some bobbins stacked on some, if I'm just switching and playing around with different threads and different bobbins, because it's nice and convenient right there and not cluttering up my small workspace. So with the multi-spool holder, it comes with these two side pieces and then the main piece in the center. You can always add, as you see here, little extra spool pins, little caps that can attach to the back side to give you maximum thread storage on top of your machine, especially when you're working with embroidery. Another benefit is you can use any spool size, so it could be a tiny small sewing spool, a slightly larger embroidery spool, or if you have cones of thread, which a lot of us do, because sometimes we'll buy Orifil in a large cone because a thread that we're always using, something we're always piecing with, and we like a nice large cone. Well, you would need some type of spool holder, either a single spool stand or a multi-spool holder, to be able to use this larger cone. So here, the multi-spool holder comes with two of the low cone spool holders, and so it allows you to use the multi-spool holder with larger cones and makes it easy for threading. So with the threading of the multi-spool holder, it has its own little thread clip built in, along with, you still got the thread clip on your sewing machine. And just like a serger, you got the rack up here, so you can have 4 threads ready to go. Now you can still only embroider with one needle at a time. You still have to change your threads. I get that question often. It just allows you to have it nice and ready to go. So when you have your spool on the spool pin on your multi-spool holder, you just bring the thread up between one of the loops, just like you would a serger, bring it through one or both of the clips, whatever you feel like doing, and then you continue threading the machine. So the biggest benefit of using the multi-spool holder, especially with the 7 series machine, is because our handles go inside the machine, keep everything nice and streamlined, and keep stuff out the way. If we were to have like an isocord thread, we see this often in our classes. The isocord thread is a 40 weight polyester thread, so it's nice and shiny, slippery, great, excellent for embroidery. You can't get much better than isocord when it comes to embroidery thread. But the problem is, especially with the 7 series design, is sometimes we have more thread come off the spool than we need at a given time. So that thread will actually loop underneath, and we've seen it get caught on stuff. We've also had it come unthreaded from our little guide up here right before it enters the machine, which can cause problems because then it comes out of the tension because of that extra loop. So with using the multi-spool, so the way you could get around that is you could use a thread net to go over the spool. But that's something you have to put on each spool before you use it, thread it through the little thread net and attach. That's just an added something else you have to do. With the multi-spool holder, you don't have to worry about any of that because we have our spool sit on our multi-spool holder, and we're going to thread it through the little loops at the top and then bring it back down. So all of this also allows, especially for metallic thread, it allows the thread to unwind and straighten out before it enters the machine. So instead of going from point A to point B, we'll go from point A, point B, C, and then D. So you've got plenty of space for the thread to unwind and get in a better position to be fed through the machine. And also, by coming from this spool cap, from this little clip to the machine, it allows the thread to be nice and straight, nice and flat, so it's not going to loop under and have any problems. But the multi-spool multi-spool holder has many benefits. And a lot of times when our customers come to class, they'll always bring their multi-spool holder. They may not bring the little side wings, but they'll definitely bring their main center portion where the little rod and the loops are attached to. So it's a little bit smaller, and it's super easy just to come off and then to put back on when they get to class. And so that's something that all of our customers who have the multi-spool holder, they always typically bring their multi-spool holder, or at least parts of it, to class because they know the added benefit. And it just makes life so much easier when you're sewing or embroidering. All right, hopefully those customers who have the multi-spool holder love it just as much as we all do. And those of you who don't have it now understand how it works and its added benefits. All right, well, happy sewing.